We talk a lot about Islam and the atrocities practiced and whether they are representing true Islam or not. Some people then come and accuse us that we turn a blind eye to all the other atrocities that are. So the argument goes something like this: there are many other atrocities that were committed against humanity in the name of liberalism and Darwinism and atheism and every ism at the end. Why do you choose to criticize Islam only and turn a blind eye to all other atrocities? Shouldn't you love all humanity at large, or all good causes equally? What do you think of that? Why are we so focused on Islam?
I'm focused on Islam because it is the religion that traumatized me. It is the religion that oppressed me. And so I feel most empathetic to the people who are being traumatized and being oppressed by this religion of Islam. So what's important to note is those people who tell you, why are you focusing on Islam? Why don't you focus over there? Those are people that just want to say, like, look over here. Don't look over there. Stop looking at Islam. Look at this. They're just trying to divert your attention. That's really what it comes down to. It's not that they care about all of these topics equally, because that's unrealistic. Nobody can care about all the topics equally. There's so many topics. There's so many atrocities. There's so many things to get upset about. There's so many things that we could be focusing our energy to try and fight and make better. No one human being is going to have the bandwidth to take up all of these causes, and to try to expect one human being to have the bandwidth to take up all of these causes equally is just, it's just dishonesty, is just stupidity, is just something that they have to say because they don't want you to look at Islam anymore. Okay, so it's not even from a place of caring about other people or whatever. It's from a place of trying to defend their religion from any kind of criticism. So, they do the same thing to me. Why don't you talk about other religions? Because other religions didn't do anything to me. That's why. There's more than enough people out there. You can find ex-Scientologists or ex-Jehovah's Witness or ex-Mormons or people that were persecuted by their religions, ex-Hasidic Jews, ex-Orthodox Jews. They can talk about it because that's their experience and that's their life. And they have every right to speak up against the thing that harmed them. And I have every right to speak up against the thing that harmed me as well. And that's what I choose to do.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. There's this beautiful documentary on, sorry, not documentary, show on Netflix that talks about ultra Orthodox Jews called Unorthodox. I'm not sure if you watched
Yes,
it. It's
I did.
brilliant. So it's actually a denial. If you think that the attack is only on Islam, that in itself is ignorance, because everyone who suffered from a particular religion or a particular background have the right to criticize that particular background that they suffered from. That's one thing, but also everything is relevant to the time and date that we're living in. And if you look around the world
Mhm,
today, what religion
mhm,
is causing
mhm.
the biggest mess around? It, it would be like when the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic happened, and someone comes and says, "Why aren't you making vaccines for flu, or why aren't you focusing on um, like there's a bloody pandemic
What
here?"
about smallpox? Why aren't you talking about smallpox?
Exactly. Isn't
Yeah,
it as
yeah,
dangerous? Well,
yeah.
so
Exactly.
yeah.
Absolutely correct. And although I have complete respect and support for anybody who speaks up against any ideology that hurt them, I completely agree with what you're saying. At the end of the day, Jews are 0.2% of the population, right? Muslims are almost a quarter of the planet. They rule over 50 countries. So this is a huge global problem. It's the second largest religion on the planet. People like to talk about it like it's this little minority group. No, it's not a little minority group. It's the second largest religion on the planet, and they have a lot of political power, and they have a lot of petrodollars. And like I said, there are a lot of over 50 countries that have Sharia in their laws. So this is a very big problem. Like you said, exactly at this point in history, this is the religion that is causing the most damage across the world. And again, if you want to talk about Christianity, they'll be like, some women in South America can't get divorced. It's like, yes, and there are many, many women fighting against that. Oh, but some women in America can't get an abortion. Yes, but they are fighting against that. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are causes or problems or whatever that they are being fought. But whenever we try to talk about anything that has anything to do with Islam, we want to talk about the child marriage. We want to talk about the FGM. We want to talk about women being beaten by their husbands or raped by their husbands. Any of these issues, even showing a freaking painting in a classroom, immediately Islamophobia. So we can't talk. We can't fight these problems because of these idiots that are trying to silence us with this term Islamophobia, or worse, the violent Islamists that are trying to silence us with their guns and bullets and knives. So the people that are fighting against these other religions that may be causing them, maybe restricting their lives or oppressing them in some way, those people are free to fight. Nobody is stopping them. Nobody's saying Christianophobia.
Totally. That reminds me of when Black Lives Matters happened in America, that movement, and obviously for ages, for centuries, Black people were struggling and suffering and being persecuted and unjustly being killed in the states and elsewhere. So when finally some people made a movement and it became the Black Lives Matter, all of a sudden you find this other all lives matter. Well, we
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
all lives matter.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is it?
Perfect example, Adam. Yeah.
Are we going to talk about white lives now? Like,
Yeah.
is there any comparison between white people and Black people when it comes to suffering from unjustly killing? Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Exactly. And I absolutely agree with you. And that's what I actually have used a similar argument to that when people come and they say, but what about Christianity? And I say to them, you're all lives mattering this topic. Like, when we're specifically talking about the persecution that happens at the hands of, because of Islam, people have to run in all the time and say, what about Christianity? 200 years ago, they did this. Didn't you
You just
know?
said it 200 years ago.
Exactly. Exactly.